All right, this is a camp that I've used before, place over the years, probably since like 2014, on and off, through over the years. And the last few days, I've been kind of previously stocking this place up. So my instincts told me this morning, especially, to pack up and leave the stealth camp I was in the last 5, 6 days and move it to this spot. I just got a feeling. So I'm going to go by my instincts on this, and I packed up my other stealth camp where it was located, and I moved to a different location here. And I figure as a video diary, and if anybody's just kind of interested in this kind of content, I might as well film the setup. So here we go. Noah Road setting up his stealth camp in real time. I might not be talking so much, and this microphone doesn't pick up very well. I'm sorry about that. So anyways, the, the first thing I do is I set up my my tarp, which is going to be like a awning over my tent, and I am going to drape that over a runner beam that I have recently cut, and to save time for the video. And I'm going to tie it off, and then once that's taken care of, I'll set up my small tent. I have a very small light tent, and I'll put that underneath that, and then I don't have to sit in a sweaty tent with a rain fly over me, because I'll have this very light tarp over me, like a sort of awning or a pavilion. All right, so step two. As you can see, I'm used to this spot. I've been here many times before. This thing fits perfectly right there and right here. And it just lays there. I don't even need to tie it off. Okay? So that comes in real handy. It does not always come that easy. All right. Anyone watching? Hey, cool. Thanks. Here's the tarp. Here's a bag with all of my ropes that I'm familiar with, like a lot of rope here. And I will go through these ropes as I tie my awning off. All right. Okay. Obviously, I smoothed that stick out with one of those folding saws, because there's little, points and stuff that you got to make sure you smooth out. So that's step one. When you cut the branch, then you got to smooth it out real nice, because you don't want this getting holes poked up in it. And the next step is to start fishing around for what rope I want to use. And I got to look for little anchor spots so I can tie things off. If there isn't anything available, like naturally, like a tree or a bush that's really strong and I could tie it off there, then I have to find a big log around 50 pounds or something like that. Just carry it over and then I can use it as an anchor and I'll tie it to that log. How you doing? Hello. So here we go. I'm going to start fishing for the right ropes, the links and stuff like that. So there's various links, and some things that are really far away I need to reach a long way, and some things are kind of close, and it depends on where you're at. I'll try to keep up here. Hi. Hi. How you doing? Yeah, setting up stealth camp. Actually, as a tip, the trick is to go from one corner and then the next corner, you know, diagonally, one corner over on the other side, and then the other corner on this side. Those are the first two you want to tie off, and then the other corner, and then the other corner, from back to front usually. And once that's tied off, then you can kind of make a slight little peak in it. And then you can just put your tent underneath, and it's really nice. Well, thank goodness that went easy. That don't always go easy. Okay, that's a real long one. I want to save that from something else. always say one of the most important parts is the peak. Create, yeah, the water runs off that way and then this way instead of dumping straight down. Now, I got the tent. All right. Now I'll show people how I got this tied off. Corner. Right there. And then now, if these trees were not available like they are, I would have set some logs on the ground, you know, maybe 50 pounds and 5 feet long or something, and I just would have run the rope and anchored it into the logs that I would have laid down. Okay, now the most important thing is the little peak that I create. See that? This could actually be up a little higher, and it runs the water off that way and runs the water back off that way. And as you can see, I did the same thing underneath. Water will run off that way, water will run off that way. And if I didn't have that, if it started raining really hard and really dumping on me, that water would just come down here and it would eventually flood underneath. So you got to really watch out for that. Now the only thing left to really do is set up the tent underneath this thing, and then I don't have to sit on, you know, with the rain fly. And I'm telling you, this tarp is a lightweight tarp. It's got great color. It doesn't weigh the bag down at all to carry it, pardon. All right, so here we go with setting up the tent. I got a cute little Winnie the Pooh tent that I got at a Goodwill store. I actually got 2 identical ones for $5, and the color and the size, I mean, they're a little too small, but the color is great for stealth camping. And the size, even though I'd like it to be a tiny bit bigger, it's big enough, and yet it's small to where I can put it anywhere. I could really camp right underneath people's noses and they wouldn't even know I was there. Anyways, so now what I'm going to do is set up this cute little Winnie the Pooh tent I got, and this will be, and what I did also is yesterday I started to pack this place up with water and with some food, so that's already stocked up here. And I also put some cardboard here because though this is pretty good ground, I have used this spot before. It doesn't like flood up really, you know, I never had a problem with it. But there is condensation that gets underneath your sleeping bag, so you want at least cardboard underneath you. If you can get some, that's great. If not, you have to use like ferns underneath the tent, and ferns work really good. Pile them up about this thick, that sort of stuff. All right, anyway, so I'm going to set up the tent. Ooh. I got some cardboard stashed about 50 feet away from here that I put there yesterday. So I'm going to run off screen and grab that real fast so I could put that underneath my tent, my sleeping bag. Now I'm gonna lay down to see where my body fits the ground the best. Okay, so I'm gonna have a practice, like lay down and see how it feels and check it out, like where I fit best. Okay. That's the one. All right. And I want to tie my ropes that are just kind of lying open. I want to kind of tie them up and put them in a nice, you know, sort of like a shoelace knot, you know, just to get them out of the way so they don't flop all over the place or come off of the bar. These are my two sleeping bag ropes, so they're really important. I got to keep them separate from the other ropes. Got to get everything picked up. Okay, that's it. That's Noah Stealth Camp for a few days. I'm probably going to be here for 3 or 4 days. I'm thinking about taking a trip, I'm thinking about walking a set of railroad tracks that goes from Du Bois down to Punxsutawney, and camp out along the way and really scope out that area. It's all Amish country and stuff. It's really gorgeous down there. So that didn't take too long. And I'm just getting used to all this again. So it's not like, I mean, I've been way out of practice, so I'm doing very good. Okay, so here, I previously stocked up this camp. Just, you know, food and things like that, and as well as and water. I got like 3 of these jugs. All right, that's about it for stealth camp. You know, this stealth camp setup. And I like this spot because I could really walk back and forth a little bit more than the other spot I was in. There's more mosquitoes here, unfortunately, but they're not too bad. You know, they're not as bad as Wisconsin or nothing. My gosh. Or the Delta of Arkansas by the soy fields. That'll really pick you up and carry you away. All right, this is it. So here's what it looks like from a distance. That's it. Now, just one more thing that I will add. If I stay here for any length of time, I'm going to do what I do at almost all of my camps. And I will go and you see this, I was here before years ago. If you notice, I will put up blinds with, you know, I'll cut pine boughs or find them on the ground, like leafy trees and stuff, and cut a few of the boughs, and I will put them up as just a blind, just in case anybody did come out, walk through this way, they'd miss it, you know what I'm saying? That I often do with my tents if I'm going to stay for a long stretch of time. I've stayed in places, in fact, I've stayed here before for 2 months. I think that's the longest I ever stayed here. I think that was in 2014. Probably in 2018 I stayed here again for a month or so. And I don't break down, I just stay and I take my chances. I'll walk into town and I'll come back. You know, I've just got to feel really secure. And a lot of it depends on the time of year too. Like, this is big hunting area, so, you know, it depends on, you know, if it's October and it's starting to crank up, the hunters are coming out. If it's like December, boy, you got to kind of hem in closer to town, and you got to be a little bit more stealthy because a lot of hunters come through here and stuff. But now it's June. It's like, I mean, I'm sure there's something out there to hunt, you know, but it's really small game and nobody really cares much about it. They just got through with their May turkey season up here, and that was pretty popular. It's always popular, but the deer hunting and the big game, that doesn't happen until late into the fall. So I should have the woods around here to myself, you know, for a while, for 4 months. But like I said, I'm planning on taking a little trip. One of the reasons why I left that other spot is just for reconnaissance and, you know, getting used to it. It's a sort of exercise, you know, stealth camping exercise. And yeah, this is it. This is Noah on the road, on the go, and this is what it's really like. And this is a real stealth camp. And you know, so anyways, I hope somebody out there enjoys this, maybe in the future. Maybe somebody who watches me regularly who might miss this live, maybe in a little while you can say hello. And anyways, shout out to Henri Buzzard out there in Oregon if you're listening. Shout out to Angry 80s Guy Shout out to Melody Z and Matthew. I forgot your last name. I'm sorry. It starts with a K. I know your heart is always in the right place, my friend. Okay. And a few others, you know, even to a certain friend who we have parted ways a little bit. You know, you might know we had disagreement about certain aspects of spirituality and stuff. And my friend decided to, he wasn't exactly happy with it. So I still, you know, say hi to you and still care about you. I am really grateful for everybody that played a role in me getting here, you know, up here to align my heart and my mind, you know. Even if people had bad intentions, you know, they still played a role, you know what I mean? Nothing is wasted if you trust. Trust life, trust spirit source energy, point of singularity, trust God. And my secret is I become nothing as God becomes more everything. You know what I'm saying? And you know, too much new age, they say like it's all about, you know, you are the all-powerful, eternal, creative source or something like that. And no, I'm just, you know, a borrowed existence on the surface of being, you know. And I'm really not a factor in this. And that's where I feel more comfortable learning to become that, you know. Anyways, then I don't fear anything in the world. I only, you know, anyways, I'm going to stop there. I enjoyed setting this up, and I hope everybody enjoyed watching, even though it's probably long and boring because there's no editing. So, anyways, with that said, Noah Road, over and out for now.